Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And before we get going, have you ever posted a video or a picture of a knife online and then got lambasted for it not looking super used and neglected? If that's you, hit the like button because you, my friend, are in good company. So here's the deal. This is not a review. I've already done a first impressions of this knife. This is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 DLT exclusive and crewwear. And the Grail or Garbage video is going to be coming up in about another week and a half. So the reason I'm making another video on this knife is because I don't understand people. I posted a picture on Reddit yesterday of this knife and I said, I believe that crewwear is the best user steel. Because it was a picture of this knife and a recent picture, the knife looks clean. Most people liked it. There were some people, however, who immediately felt it was their God-given responsibility to point out the fact that this does not look like a knife that's seen some use. Now, while I've only had this for the last 4 or 5 days, I have used it. I've used it to open boxes. I've used it to cut stems off of flowers. I've used it to open bags, to tear down boxes. Cardboard is definitely something that will show wear and tear on your knife in most cases. And so it was a little understandable to me that they might assume that I was just posing with this knife. Clout, if that's a thing. I said, no, I've used it. I just maintain my knives and clean my knives afterwards.
Like, you must have some kind of super coating on there for it to not show any wear and tear.
I said, it does have a DLC coating, which is diamond-like carbon. Diamond-like carbon, by the way. A lot of people take it for granted. It's harder than steel, which means that it's really hard to damage and scratch. Even cardboard is not going to really damage your DLC coating. You could rub a lot of metals on this and it's not going to scratch the DLC coating. The guy didn't believe me. He deleted his comment and ran away. Apparently me offering to make him some personalized videos showing me using the knife and then maintaining it afterwards was just too much for him. Excuse me, instead of sending those videos to him, I'm making them for you. Because I think that it's extremely important that we understand the difference between not using your knife and neglecting your knife. Use your knives, but take care of them so that they continue to look good, so they continue to work well. If you're going to spend a couple $100 on something like this, it doesn't make any sense to me why anyone would decide that it's okay to use it and then neglect it. Maintaining a knife is more than just lubing the pivot. And I'm going to show you today how I maintain my knife after I use it. Let's abuse some cardboard. All right, so there you have it. It's me literally destroying and causing utter violence towards some USPS boxes. It's a good way to relieve the stress of waiting for the mail to come. If you're feeling anxious, just take out one of your existing knives and shred a box. And then afterwards, maintain your knife. Things that you saw me do in that video were, one, after destroying the boxes, I went ahead and I hit it with some Rem oil. That's this stuff right here. Rem oil at one point was harder to get a hold of, but it's actually pretty good for lubing and oiling your knife. And you can also use it on pivots and stuff like that. I don't necessarily suggest using a ton on the pivot, just because it's really easy for it to build up dust and gunk. But if you hit it lightly with the Rem oil, it will work well. So I hit the blade with that because I like maintaining the blade. And then I went ahead and I stropped it. And here's the results. As you can see, looks exactly like it did when I started. And just so you know that I didn't just start this, I didn't just start the video and then record this before tearing up the boxes. So yeah, whether or not someone's knife looks good is not an indicator of how well it's used. You should use your knives, especially if you're buying them to be tools. And then afterwards, you shouldn't neglect it. Clean your knife, protect the coating that protects your blade, lube your pivots, and then of course, hit it with the strop. That's what I did. And you'll notice that at the end of that use video, before I hit it with the strop, it was tearing the paper. It went from sharp to not really all that sharp. And I was doing a bunch of cuts. Like, it was still sharp, but it wasn't as sharp. And now it's back to being really sharp. It's sharp. My point is that ultimately, no matter what you do, enjoy your knife. If you're someone that feels bad because your knife looks beat up and it once looked beautiful, don't go on Reddit and try to call people out for not using their knives like you use your knives. It's their money. It's their knife. However they use it is their business. And if they post a picture saying that they think a certain knife steel is the best user steel, that's their opinion. Just like you're welcome to yours, they're welcome to theirs. Guys, thanks for putting up with my rant today. Hopefully you got something useful out of it. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you disliked it, boo-hoo, there's a button for you too. And if you want to see more content, more knife reviews, and more how-tos down the road, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Other than that, I will see you on the flip side.